Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from my side. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks to PAGEV to invite us to give an update about EREMA and our view about plastic industry, especially about the circular economy. And I would like to give you three chapters. A short introduction about the EREMA group. To be angry, it's not too much, only a short one. Then mainly I would like to try to give you a view for us of plastic industry, circular economy, and in the end, what are solutions from our side. The company was founded in 1983 from three founders. 1983, 36 years ago, with the idea to produce plastic recycling machines. 36 years ago, you can imagine plastic recycling was not really a hot topic. Today it's completely different. We have in the meanwhile different companies. Here you see three companies in our portfolio: EREMA, PureLoop, and Plastik for plastic extrusion, for the plastic recycling industry, for different applications with different technologies. But we have also other companies for manufacturing of key components, for used machines, so we are recycling our machines by ourselves. And last but not least, with KeyCycle, a company who can deliver turnkey project in the green field with sorting, washing and extrusion. We all are working together in the plastic industry, and the plastic industry has different sectors of plastic recycling. We have in-house recycling, post-consumer recycling, bottle-to-bottle recycling, and all in these areas, EREMA and the EREMA group has solution for that. To sum up, here you can see the companies of the EREMA group. Today, now we are doing a turnover of 180 million euro, 550 employees, still private owned from the founder families, with 550 people all over the world. We heard today a lot of plastic, and there is no discussion about that we need plastic. Without plastic, we would never have the way of living of today. We would not have power. We would not have drinking water, packaging, transport, all of that you heard already from the speaker before. There's no discussion about that, and plastic has to be increased if we think about the world population, which will increase from 7 billion to 10 billion. When I was born, roughly 68, we had 3.5 billion. So in 50 years, we almost double the population of the world, and that will go ahead, and for that we need more plastic to have enough water, power, food for everybody. But these are the pictures what the people have in their mind. And yes, there is an issue with plastic waste, but there is no issue with plastic. If we speak about climate change, plastic is the solution for that, because what are the alternatives? All alternatives in comparison to plastic, if we look on clays and glass and paper and metal, need more CO2 than plastic. But plastic waste is an issue, and we have to solve that as an industry. And we have to bring it in a way that plastic is the solution for CO2 and for climate change. And we as an industry take the responsibility to remove also the plastic waste. But that could be done not from the plastic recycling industry itself. We need a rethinking of plastic. We have to have in mind that we have to do it together. And together mean the whole chain. It starts by the politics, by the brands, by the virgin supplier, by the converters, technology supplier, as well the recycler. We have to work together, as it is done today here. Congratulations to this Congress, that in such a Congress of the plastic industry, circular economy is the main topic. And it's not only that we are speaking now, already the first steps are done. For example, in Europe, the politics has given clear legislation what has to be done. 2025, 10 million ton repellets or recycled material has to be on the market. What does this mean? How much recyclate is nowadays on the market in Europe? Roughly 3 million, 3.5 million, depending on the calculation. That would mean every year 50% more recyclate as today. And we have to think about 50% more recycled as today per year has to be increased to fulfill this target. Is this possible? If we have the right markets and products where the material could be used, yes. And how we can achieve that? Working together. And we need the brands. We all know the brands are the driver of the business. If the brands are given their commitments to use recyclates, then the business will go in the direction of recyclates. Sure, there's a lot of work to do, a lot of technology has to develop, but it could work. And we see already here a lot of products which are nowadays with recyclates in the market. More or less every week, one new product is launched on the market worldwide with recyclates. That shows the industry has recognized it and the industry is doing something. The plastic waste as a new raw material. As paper, steel and glass is doing it since many, many years. We have to do it as plastic industry in the same way. But what does this mean? Recyclates as a raw material need the constant supply chain, the constant quality and the right quality for the right end application. It has not to be always the highest quality. It depends where you're using the recyclate in which end application again. That's the same with virgin. Also in the virgin field there are different grades depending on the end application, and that we have to have in our mind. But still this is not enough. To make it easier, we need design for recycling. That means in the products which are coming on the market, we have to think how many multi-layer are useful and could we reduce that, because then it's easier to recycle. And last but not least, we need also the design for recyclates. And that again shows we have to work together as an industry. There's no discussion about that for me. We need plastic for our life, today and in future. Because the plastic industry has recognized that we have to close the loop, and we are working on it, as you have seen in the first some example. We have to keep in mind that circular economy is not only a topic of one country or one region. It has to be done worldwide and global. And plastic and recycling is part of the solution for our climate change. Again, we have that in our mind and we have to communicate that. And I will show you now how it is, let's say, complex, how important it is to work together. On the first picture, here, you can see the success story of plastic. Different kind of polymers for different kind of application. That's the key factor for the success of plastic. But for circular economy, it brings immediately the first dimension and the second dimension due to the polymer types and the application, the complexity of recycling. Furthermore, we have different collection systems, different contamination, makes it again more complex for recycling. And last but not least, we have to bring it into end application which are now already on the market, and the recyclate has to fulfill that. So we have a four-dimension room which makes it not easy for circular economy. And the challenge has to be solved to work together again. You hear, I say it always again, together, together, together. Otherwise it will not work. The virgin supplier knows which properties are required for which end application. The brand knows which marketing tool, which color his product has to have. And the recycler knows what he can make out of it. To show you only in 4 slides what happened in the last years. 20 years ago, nobody could believe that plastic bottles, PET bottles, are possible to recycle. Bottle to bottle. That was never happened. But 20 years ago it started, and sure, EREMA was one of the company and the driver of that. But nowadays it's common, it's possible, no discussion about that. 5 years ago, and here you can see DSD 310 household film waste, heavy-duty contaminated film. 5 years ago, nobody could believe that this material could be recycled and to bring back into an end product. It's now used, again, into film, 16 micron, 100% recyclates. It was developed together, customers and EREMA. 2 years ago, supermarket film with paper level, stretch film. Normally you recycle it to an injection. But we have a customer who is doing this now and bring 30% of the waste again back to the stretch film with all the mechanical properties without any issue. It was a development again, 1.5 years, and it's now done and common in the first countries. And a half year ago, nobody could believe that a 100% post-consumer bottle for body care is used from a brand. That is a milestone, that body care with 100% post-consumer material is done from this brand, and that will move forward. What does this show? It shows that the industry has recognized, and it shows how fast things are developed in the last 3, 4, 5 years. Our solution, and only, don't be angry, only 4 small pictures. On the K-Show we have introduced, on one hand, a few years ago, the EREMA TV Plus, the preconditioning unit. This K-Show, we have introduced our refresher for odorless recycled material. We have also introduced a polymer scan. Can you imagine that you can analyze during the extrusion step the polymer composition and the multi-layer composition in an extrusion step? We call it polymer scan. That means if you run a post-consumer material, it will recognize if it's 98% LDPE and 2% PP or 5% PP. That is necessary for high-quality recycling. We have given this to the market. Blueboard, everything which is together for the digitalization in our machine is with Blueboard. And last but not least, also in PET, we have a new technology on the market. That's all what I wanted to show you on new solutions, because anyway, there's tomorrow starting the Plastik show, and if you're interested, you can visit our booth. That's all what I wanted to give you. I think we have to be proud as a plastic industry that plastic is a great material for our climate change. Yes, there is an issue with plastic waste, but we are working, I think, sure together and will solve it, as the industry has done it also in other areas in the past. Thanks, and another life for plastic is that for what my team at EREMA is working. Thanks.